Hi, my name is Anneleen and today I'm going to be doing the end of the year book tag. As you can tell, I really like reading and this channel has really helped me read a lot more. I have been in a bit of a reading slump for a few years now and this channel has actually made me read more books than I've read in quite a while, so I wanted to keep talking about them to motivate myself to keep reading. This year I set the goal of reading 12 books, which is significantly more than the year before, in which I read 2 books. So currently I'm at 9 books, so I'm very confident that I will be able to reach my goal. But as an extra motivator, I am making this video to keep myself accountable. The first question is, are there any books that you started reading this year that you really want to finish? Yes, there are. There's a few, and the first one is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I started reading this because I'm listening to a podcast called The Newest Olympian, which is about this guy, Mike Schubert, who is reading the Percy Jackson series for the first time, and each episode he talks with a guest about one of the chapters, and I am reading along. I have read this book before. I've read the entire Percy Jackson series, and you know, it had been a few years, so when he announced that he was going to be doing this, I figured I would just read along. He's also made a podcast called Potterless, and the podcast was kind of a chronicle of how his experience was reading the books and talking to lifelong Harry Potter fans about it. I really recommend both podcasts, and I'm just reading along to each new episode. So I read about 1 chapter each week because that's, you know, the amount of chapters that he kind of talks about each episode. I'm hoping that he finishes the book by the end of the year, and if he doesn't, I will just kind of go ahead and read it anyway. I'm about halfway through now, so I'm very confident that this will have been finished by the end of the year. Another book that I started reading that I really want to finish is The Volksjury by Silke van den Broek and Laura Scheerling. This is a Dutch non-fiction book. It is a book all about true crime. It is called The Volksjury after the podcast that Laura and Silke make, talking about these true crime cases and just having a nice chat about them. I've been listening to this podcast for about 2 years now, so when they announced that they were writing a book, I was actually very excited. I was going to ask for this book for Christmas, but this weekend they came to my town and had a signing session, so I went ahead, bought the book, and got it signed. Yay! Laura and Silke are so sweet. I was very nervous meeting them. I was waiting in line and the people before me were having a very nice chat, and I felt so much pressure because I wanted to have just as nice of a chat with them. So I just kind of went ahead and said that I was very nervous, and they calmed me down. They were like, you know, we always say that you don't have to be nervous, but in reality, we're nervous as well. I'm really looking forward to keep reading this. The only thing I've read is the introduction, so I'm not sure if this counts as started reading, but I'm pretty sure that I will be able to finish this by the end of the year, and I also really want to, so. And the last book that I started reading that I want to finish is Dune by Frank Herbert. I watched the movie and I loved it, so I wanted to read the book. My friend was kind enough to lend me his copy, which is huge and pretty, and it has such beautiful illustrations on the inside of the cover. And I'm very happy that I can read this book, but I still want to have my own copy because, as you know, I write in my books. And I haven't asked if I can write in this one, and I also don't think he would appreciate it, and I also don't dare to do it. So I think if I have a note that I want to write, I will grab a post-it, put it in there, and then when I'm finished, I will take them all out and I will put them in my own copy when I get one. I have only read the first chapter. The first scene is very similar to the one in the movie, but I enjoyed the scene in the book more. It was very intriguing. I'm excited to keep reading, and I'm not sure if I can finish this because it is huge, it is daunting, but we'll see. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? I don't. I'm not really a seasonal reader. I just kind of read whatever. So no, I don't. This is a new filming spot that I haven't tried yet, so we'll see how that goes. Is there a new release that you're still waiting for? Not really. I don't really keep up with new releases. Most of my favorite authors take quite a while to write new books, and the other ones are dead. So not really. What are 3 books that you want to read before the end of the year? I've talked about most of them, but there's another one that I of course want to read, which I think receives a little bit more priority over like maybe June, because June is huge. I really want to finish Rilla of Ingleside, the last book in the Anne of Green Gables series. I'm taking a little bit of an Anne of Green Gables break because I feel like I've read a little bit too much of them in the last few months. So I think I will wait until the start of December to start reading it, and then I will probably finish it by like the middle of December or the end of December. I'm curious, will it be a good one? I hope so. We'll see, and I will of course take you along for the journey, and I will upload a new reading vlog when I've finished reading this. Is there a book that could shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I think it would be either Rilla of Ingleside, because at the moment Anne's House of Dreams is my favorite book of this year, so that is a strong contender. If it's better than that, then yeah, that would be my favorite book. And another one I believe is June. If I'm able to finish it on time, it might be a favorite. I really was intrigued by the first chapter. I've heard such good things about it. I'm very excited, but it also might just kind of disappoint. It is a huge book. It is kind of daunting. I'm not really sure if I can bring myself to read it, but I'm just going to take it slow and we'll see how it goes. Now we're on to the last question. Do you have any reading plans for the next year? I don't really. I mean, I do have lots of books that I still need to read. Most of the books on my bookshelves are unread. I actually thrifted 2 Daniel Defoe books. One of them is A Journal of the Plague Year. I talked about it in my thrifted book haul. But if you haven't seen it, this is written as if it is a memoir, but it is fiction, and it is about, you know, and it kind of tells different accounts from the Great Plague of 1665. And as you might know, we are currently in a Great Plague, so I thought it might be fitting. You know, for a while there, I thought I was too late. I thought that we would be out of the pandemic before I could read it, but the numbers are very bad in Belgium at the moment, so I figure I still have some time left. Then the other one I got is Moll Flanders, and this is a book written in 1722, and it is about Moll Flanders, who is a very atypical woman for her time. She actually just kind of sounds like a normal woman today, but in those times she was odd. And I read the first few sentences and it already made me laugh, so I'm very excited to start reading this. I think there's going to be lots of shenanigans. I think it's going to be funny, and I am looking forward to it. And then lastly, I also want to read The Way the Crow Flies by Anne-Marie MacDonald. Anne-Marie MacDonald, as you might know, has written Falling Your Knees, which is my favorite book of all time, and this is just another one of her novels. This one is set in the 1960s in Canada. I love Canada, so I'm here for it. It is a murder mystery kind of book, which I don't often read, but I think I might be into it. As you know, I do love the true crime podcast, The Volksjury, and I really enjoy the episodes where they talk about unsolved crimes, so I think a good mystery is right up my alley. And that is where I will leave you with today. Do let me know what are some of the books that you still want to read this year, or are you excited to read next year? I would love to chat about them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up, or even leave a comment. If you want to leave a comment but you don't really know what to say, then you can just leave one of those book emojis, you know, the book emojis with the stacked books. That one, and then I will know that you watched until the very end, and I will love you forever for it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye!